ADA units, the ADA conversion units to bring them up to full ADA standards are a little bit different. We can typically turn one of those in 7 business days unless there are structural modifications required. Then it might go to 10. We typically will find a hotel close to the property, put the tenant up there, also do a per diem for the amount of time they're gone. We handle moving boxes, we hire a moving company, the tenant doesn't have to do any of that. And that's the way we've typically done it in the past. With COVID, we've also done relocate in the property. So leading up to construction, if someone moves out, we'll have management not try to release that unit. And we'll get 3 or 4 or 5 of those. We'll rehab those with no one in them, and then instead of going to a hotel, the tenant can stay on premise.
And in your experience, is it necessary to have, I'm making up a word here, but like a tenant contact person? So if I'm a mom there with a kid and I need to be gone, but going to a restaurant all day long or something like that isn't appropriate, is there someone they can interact with to let them know their specific situations?
Yeah. We will designate someone, we always designate someone for management. And if it's complicated, we'll even potentially bring in a relocation specialist.
Okay.
We'll also set up in the common area like a couple tables where someone can watch TV and hang out during the day too if they don't want to leave. They don't have to leave the property.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you answered my question, so that's good. Thank you. I have a sort of a timeline question. So you seem really ready to go and acquire this and go, and almost like the sooner the better, which is. And I'm just sort of wondering, we have this ballet on our board of the preliminary, the whatever, and the final. What has to happen between now and final, and why wouldn't we want to just sort of move things along?
Well, this is the first step in the process
Yes.
for them, and then the next step is to apply to the state housing agency to get an award of bond allocation.
Okay, so there's still things that go
next year.
wrong that are important, yeah, okay.
But if they choose, and I'll let you speak for yourself, but if they choose to, just as you heard with the first applicant, they can go ahead and take certain steps because they're committed to this property. And, they'll go ahead and move forward and put some of their own capital at risk, so to speak.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so all we do is acquisition rehabs. Like we preserve existing housing. And our intent is always to have these projects complete within 12 months. So we have everything ready to go, and we do that to minimize just the stress on tenants who have to deal with construction.
Oh, sure, stress, risk, everything I'd imagine. It sounds like our ballet is not slowing you down as much as other things out there.
No, and
that's
actually,
fine.
this one, I don't believe, we want, and tell me if I'm wrong, we want to get through, we would like this to be approved, but I don't think we would move on this one as far as construction until 2023.
Okay, gotcha.
Do you have your own management company?
The existing management company will remain. They've been at the property over 30 years. And it's LJM. They specialize in Section 8 properties.
Okay.
And we've always felt, if it's a good management company, there's already a level of trust with the tenants, an open line of communication, so we generally will keep management on unless there are big problems with the company in place.
So assume this has been 100% occupancy?
Yes, with a waiting list, correct.
Okay. We need to have a public hearing on this project. So is there anyone here wishing to speak, open the public hearing and ask if there's anyone wishing to speak for or against this proposal? Again, I'm not seeing anyone desiring to speak, so we'll close the public hearing. And we do have a resolution before us. Is there a motion to approve this?
Move approval.
Move approval of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Resolution is adopted.
Thank you.
And you all have the second next project. Right?
Should I just stay standing?
Yeah.
Well, you can
Sit
if you need to
down a
sit.
minute.
Well, the other guy stood up, I figured I needed to.
Margaret Robertson House.
That's the icebreaker, right?
Yeah,
Is this also existing Section 8 that you're?
correct. The only difference between these two properties is this one is actually 25 two-story buildings, and it has 100 two-bedroom units. So it's a little bit larger of a site. With that, instead of adding like one playground for the kids, it's also a family property. We'll add 2 playgrounds because it's kind of a terrace site. But as far as the rehab, we're right at 40,000 a door again, and the scope of work is very, very similar.
That same age property, is it?
Yes, they're both built in 1983.
2 different companies, not,
Correct.
yeah. And how about the management there?
Same management.
Same management as the other one?
Yep.
Similar deal, will the rates, rental rates change?
No change in
For the
rates.
Section 8?
Yeah. Relocation, the ADA units would be the only potential relocation. So we have to transfer or upgrade 5%.
Is that a requirement, is that
It
something?
is. It's a HUD requirement.
When you redo it?
Yep.
Like, are there
Who you're trying to reach?
any there now? I mean,
Since they were built in 83, they provided some, but they're nowhere near current
Standards.
standards. Correct. And same with the site. So we'll designate a specific ADA path to travel to get from all of those units to the office, to the playground, to the barbecue areas, to the parking. So a lot of times, we end up tearing out and replacing almost all the sidewalks on the property to make that work.
So if you're essentially acquiring an existing Section 8 property, how do you all get your value out of this property, given the cost incurred to upgrade it?
Once complete, like I said, our goal is to make this property no different than the market rate property down the street. Once it's complete, we will go back and ask for a markup to market,
Gotcha.
where the property will be reappraised, rents adjusted not to tenants.
Right.
No change to the
Just
tenants.
From government to you.
Correct, correct.
So it still remains Section 8, okay.
Yep.
I mean,
I got
the
it.
fair market value, or fair market, what do they call it now, fair market?
Yeah, fair market value.
And these, of course, are 100% occupied, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Same thing, waiting list.
Do you all, as, Section 8 projects,
Yes.
that's what you kind of identify, find those older ones and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's specialized and, just a tenant in place rehab is also very specialized. So there are a few construction companies, there's usually the ones that just do that.
You mean, okay, so you contract, will you use a local construction company or? you-
I'd like to use as many, I would think we would use almost everyone local.
But I say but you have.
I might have a GC come in from out
That's
of
specialized
state.
in,
Yep.
as I say, in rehab.
Yes.
Right, yeah. And,
But as far as all the subcontractors and material suppliers, we generally keep all of that local to where the projects are located.
how long y'all been in business?
Rick, who was supposed to be here, has been doing this for over 20 years. We went out on our own with SDG Housing in 2015, and we've been doing it since then. But he and June Park, the other 2 principals, have been doing it for over 20 years.
So who is SDG?
SDG, it's Seabird Development, which is Rick's last name. He started it. He put the money in to get it going.
In California, lives in Los Angeles?
Yes, he's in Los Angeles.
How'd y'all find Nashville?
I've visited, we've all visited here.
Hasn't everybody?
Yeah, it seems at this point, yeah. So, no, I mean, I think it's a great city. It's beautiful. But, they had always done projects in California. And I wanted to stay in the Midwest. So I was like, guys,
Are you in the Kansas City office?
yes.
Okay, I saw you had a Kansas City office, so that's why the project in Olathe, which is outside of
Yep.
Kansas City.
Well, we have 3 in Kansas City, Missouri right now. We did 2 substantial rehabs, both senior properties, that just finished at year end. It was a 156-unit high-rise for elderly. The other was a 56-unit, 3-story, all elderly. We did about $12 million worth of rehab to the two of them, and they ran concurrently.
So you've been in the business a while yourself?
Yeah, I started as an architect, and then I started doing historic preservation in different downtowns. So I was exposed to historic tax credits and kind of transitioned over to affordable housing.
Preserving housing, that's very good. We need more affordable housing here in Nashville, as most big cities do, as
Yeah.
you're aware. So I'm glad that this is being refurbished and continued on the market as opposed to some of them being torn down.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Let's see, so what did we have we having a public hearing on this project? We have not had a public hearing. So I'll open this project up for anybody here wishing to speak for or against this project. And again, I'm not seeing anybody, so we'll close the public hearing, and again, we got a resolution that's been presented to us. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
It's moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Might be ready to roll.
All right, thank you again.
Thank you all.
Can you say what you're saying? I'll see. I still hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, how do you spell Siebert? Is it S-I-E or S-E-I or S-E?
SIEBERT.
S-I, Bert.
Yep.
S-I-E.
Thank you all. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Thank you again for the time.
Thank you, have a good day.
You too.
Come back and visit Nashville.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll be down here quite a bit.
you'll be moving just like the rest of them. See you in a few months.
All right.
Okay, so do we have any old business?
We do not.
Any new business?
The only thing I'll mention, our law firm has moved offices, so we're in the process of updating some of the board information, just to let you know, the one that's on my mind is our public records policy that's posted on the Metro website. I'm the contact if anyone has a public records request, because we keep all the board's files, and we just, as the requests come in, we just send them whatever they're looking for. But anyway, I'm going to be updating our address, so for those of you that subscribe to the Metro website, if you see an alert coming out because something's changed, it's because I've updated our address, and that's it. So I just wanted to mention that. We'll need to update our filings with the Secretary of State office too, just to show the new address. But I just wanted to mention that, so there's no action required of the board.
Just your physical address, not like
Our
your
physical
ownership or
address.
structure or something, no.
Correct, just our physical address.
We don't need a motion to approve this, or?
I don't think so, I just wanted
It's a
to,
joke. Okay,
yes.
right.
All right, and then everybody got their information reports on the issues that have been closed and bonds issued, which is just Vanderbilt, I guess, and Vanderbilt and
Several of the housing.
Yeah, the housing levels that closed by the end of the year, and I guess you're under starting construction. Okay, so we don't have nothing else on the pipeline that we know of?
Not at this time. THJ is just starting to take applications for the first round of their 2022 approval cycle, and so we may not know which, if any of the ones that have come before this board are approved until later in the spring. And then they have 90 days to get their financing in place. So at this moment, we don't have a need for a meeting over the next few months, but we'll just be in touch, because as soon as I say that, someone will call tomorrow and request a meeting. So.
Tomorrow in the parking lot, right?
Sounds like we got preliminary approval to these today, which we did back in November, preliminary approval to 6 or 7 in. They have to fly to THDA, get their allocation of bond issues, and then we we'll have to meet again to issue the bonds for them.
Correct, and it's a
Whatever.
competitive process throughout the entire state of Tennessee. And we just see a snapshot of what the requests are in Davidson County, but this is going on throughout the state, and they're all competing for the same pot. And it's a limited pot, so we won't know. THDA has to go through their process.
So we may see some of these back in a few months, or
What?
we may not.
Pardon me, why would there be a limited pot for
It's
subsidized
per
bonds?
capita, the amount of tax exempt bonds that can be issued for affordable housing through this program, it's per capita. And so
Okay.
it's a federal program that's delegated to the states, so THDA only has a finite amount available.
It's not a limit on us issuing the
I
bonds.
understand,
Right,
okay, the
right.
federal government
Ultimately-
does want to hold on to some of our tax dollars for other things, good, okay, got it.
Okay, if there's no further business, then we will stand in adjournment. Thank you all very much for being here.
Do you think you have any?
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.